Today we're going to start going over Sociology 1.2. Sociology 1.2 asks you to identify the founders of sociology and to be able to explain their impact on the field of sociology. Your textbook describes the founders of sociology as a family tree. We'll start with those men and women who created the roots of sociology, and then we'll work our way up through your major branches and limbs, taking a look at the key people that created the topic that you are currently studying. So the roots of sociology, your textbook on page 18 describes as philosophers, theologians, economists, historians, journalists, who were all looking for a different way to study society. Sociology is going to come about in the late 1800s, right around the time of the Industrial Revolution. So a lot was changing in society very quickly, and there was a need, these men and women felt there was a need to study society in a different way. The first person who we're going to talk about is Auguste Comte, and he is considered the father of sociology. He's the first person to provide a program for scientific study of society. He actually was calling it social physics at the time. So much like physics looks for laws, he used something called positivism. He believed that knowledge about society should be derived from scientific observation and the creation of laws. So looking for something more concrete. He wanted to study basic issues of change and order. So looking at things like social statics, which is when things are stable, and social dynamics, which is when things are changing. Then our next person we need to talk about is Harriet Martineau. First a journalist, then became an activist, traveled around Europe and the United States, and wrote about social change. She wrote two books, The Society in America and The Retrospect of Western Travel, about her experiences. In these books, she wrote about the importance of labor unions, the abolition of slavery, women's suffrage, which were all controversial ideas for the time period. She is also responsible for translating Comte's work from French into English, making it more accessible for those in England, where she was from, and those in the United States. Our third sociologist, or third person that we need to talk about in our roots of sociology, is Herbert Spencer. Many of you guys in science class are familiar with the term of social Darwinism, or Darwinism in general. You may have studied it in biology when you're looking at traits and why certain traits last over time and others fade away, maybe when you did Punnett squares. Herbert Spencer is actually the man who is responsible for coining the phrase survival of the fittest. Oftentimes we give credit to Charles Darwin, but that was Herbert Spencer. Now he was a fan of or a supporter of Charles Darwin's beliefs, and he took those beliefs from science, from biology, and were applying them to society. So looking at how change and unrest were natural occurrences in the evolution and improvement of society as a whole. That wraps up our roots of sociology. Now we'll be looking at those theorists who took these root ideas and developed them into something more.